already know what ET about. Okay, he just going to Earth, getting really fucked up, and then bad hangover, and then get called home.
Man,
We know what ET do.
get the fuck out of here. E.T.
Hey,
You bringing in E.T.? Did you know that E.T. knew Yoda?
Yes, I.
and let me tell you
Fucking
something.
what?
Remember what I told you? Mace Windu was the most powerful Jedi.
I
He was the
never
most powerful
disagree
Jedi.
with you.
So that means that he has the possibility of being alive, just
He
like Palpatine.
What if? What
nigga,
if
that
Mace?
planet exploded, didn't it?
Listen. What if Windu did what Yoda did, but went to the dark side?
Ooh,
You think Windu's dark?
man.
Bro, look at his lightsaber. Like the purple is like one of the strongest lightsabers, if not the strongest.
I ain't never seen a
Okay, and
Sith
it's
without
dark.
nothing but red.
And
Because they don't
but
have anything.
purple is darker than red, though.
Why
They
would
might
purple be darker than red?
because in order for there to be a greater balance, you need both good and bad. They just know how to control the dark side, I think.
Yep.
Because you can't have one without the other. You kill one
Bro,
off, it's imbalance. It don't work.
yeah, exactly.
I'm a,
The Sith
okay.
need the Jedi.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what if the force is equal in both ways?
It
It's just your train of
is.
thought. Okay,
It
so then it's just
is.
your train of thought. So what I'm saying is, Mace Windu having one of the strongest crystals and everything, being one of the strongest Jedi's, if not the strongest. What if he's able to tap into the dark side just like Yoda is able to? Just like every other Jedi, when they go through that passage of whether or not they're going to go towards that darkness or not, it's evident they're able to tap into it if they
Let
really
me ask,
wanted to.
how is it that Yoda taps into the dark side?
It's evident they're
Because you
When
able
did
to
can.
he do
tap
that?
into it if they really
Because
wanted
you
to.
can.
But when did he do that?
But
We don't
I thought
know.
you had to do the dark side in order to come back, like as a what he does in
No, no, no.
fuck, let's not
You have
planet.
to give yourself the opportunity to succumb to the dark side. You put yourself in a situation like a vision walk or whatever the situation is to see how you would react to what you saw or whatever whatnot. And most of them stay to the good because they don't want to go to the dark side. That doesn't mean they can tap into the dark side. There's no
Not all.
tapping in. And anybody like they also teach you, and they say this in the movies a lot sooner than this last trilogy, that you have to understand that you have a dark side to you. You have
That
that power and strength. You have it,
you just
but
said what I
not
just said
to
that.
allow it to run you. That you can it's not like you just tap into it. You have it. It's part of you.
That's basically what I just said, just in a
That ain't
different
what you
way.
just said. Man, shut
Yes,
up,
it
man.
is. What do you mean? That was the whole
What
point
do
of
you
the
mean?
purple lightsaber being darker than the red one.
I just
Is
don't
that they?
understand how purple's darker than red.
Because it is.
Why?
Because red
Who
is power.
says?
Red is a
You
brighter
know who says
color than purple.
Depends on the red.
Thanos says it. Thanos says it.
Thanos says it.
Yeah.
He says it's more powerful.
Because purple is the power stone.
What does it have to do with being dark? That's what I'm trying to understand.
It's a darker color. It's you could like red is not like when you look at red and you're like what a pussy ass color, and then you see this dude
Okay,
with
okay,
Now you're
okay.
just putting opinion
Okay,
into it. It's on
look.
the color
I
spectrum.
think, the
Purple is the
reason why the Sith,
darkest. Red is
I
on the
think
other
the
side.
reason
I don't disagree
choosing
with that, but
red
we're
for
not
the
talking
Sith
about color
lightsabers.
spectrum. We're talking about the
Listen.
colors of the stones and their
Yes,
meaning. And the
right.
red stone shows your darkness inside you. That's why all the Siths have red
But,
lightsabers. That's the
but,
crystal that
when,
reached out to them and said, "Please pick me." It's not that like purple is dark side. Hey man, I get to talk too. You've been doing a lot of talking. Don't be all upset with me. You can talk in a second. I'm just saying that in the fucking folklore of what we're watching, purple is never used by a dark lightsaber wielder, whether it's a Sith or a Jedi. Only the Jedi had purple lightsabers. And everybody who has a
very true.
lightsaber, they had to go to some place to get a crystal to power the lightsaber, and they can only get a crystal that like allowed them to get it because it was like a part of them. So I don't understand where you guys are coming up with this fact that purple is darker, the dark side. blah blah blah. Motherfucker, the color has nothing to do with the red representing the dark side.
So,
The red
Mark, please
represent
tell
the
me,
dark side. I'm just saying.
Mark, please tell me you're looking up the meaning of colors.
What this has nothing to do with colors and their
Dude,
meanings.
there's a lot to go. Okay, first off, he doesn't just come out of nowhere and make up Jedi's in this huge theatrical setting and then be like, oh, color has no meaning. Sith's gonna be red. Mace Windu's gonna have purple. Some of these gonna have dark blue. These are gonna be light blue. Oh, here's a white one.
Have
Like
you ever heard
Yoda
George
shit
Lucas
was
speak?
green.
That might just be
Yeah,
how he decided.
no. There's
No,
meaning to everything he did.
no,
There's
Oh,
meaning that
exactly.
he
There
did
is,
to everything he did.
and that's why. Look, Yoda was Master Yoda, but he
why I
wasn't.
gotta look at y'all niggas like bottom
Hey,
halves of your
just
faces?
listen. Just remember that when you in during that council,
Yeah.
Yeah,
where was Mace Windu sitting at the end at the right at directly in the middle of the circle, and to
right
his right
directly
hand
in the
side.
middle of the circle to the right hand side.
To the right hand side was Yoda, meaning Yoda was
Yoda.
his right hand man,
Yoda was
meaning
the right
Yoda
hand
wasn't
man.
even the most powerful Jedi
He
with a
wasn't even
green
the most powerful
with
Jedi.
his little green lightsaber.
That was fucking amazing.
And the only reason why
The only reason why
is because he trusted Anakin Skywalker,
he
and Anakin
trusted
Skywalker
Anakin
betrayed him.
Skywalker.
And he
He
all he did
betrayed
was
him.
give listen. It don't
Listen,
count until you see a dead body.
We all talking
Okay,
like this.
it don't count till you see a dead
Do
body.
you do
that's right,
you do you
sister.
want to have the lore? I could tell you what the lore is. I have
I
the
want
lore.
to hear who's still left of Mace Windu though. I want to hear who's still left of Mace Windu.
Isn't it Qui-Gon Jinn?
So
Oh, he's dead for sure. You saw
so's
his
Darth.
dead body.
So's Darth Maul.
purple
It's
really
fucked up
doesn't.
that they killed him too soon. They fucked up when they killed him too soon.
Okay,
The
what is it, Mark?
the
Mark,
purple
why don't you tell us
lightsaber.
the color?
Okay, the purple lightsaber is a rare color. Usually,
Haha.
um, is set with somebody who slightly agrees to the light side, but they often veer off. And so there's been the reason the color is so rare. It's a combination of both um, blue and red is the color combination.
That's true. I'm gonna go grab 2 crayons right now and do that and show you.
Are you gonna do that for me? Really?
My
Do
daughter
it.
mad if I
So,
Do it.
can you tell me
Do it.
which
Do it right
Jedi's
now.
in specific veered off?
Mace Windu, who had a purple lightsaber.
No. I want to know what Jedi's veered off. Mace Windu was part
Now
of the
see,
council,
hold
which
on.
means
Wait,
he
wait, wait,
never
wait, wait.
veered off.
Wait,
You
hold
know
on.
that.
Hold on. Before we get into this, just
Yeah,
remind again.
and Jar
Okay.
Jar Binks is the real emperor.
Anakin,
Bro.
hold on. Okay, think about it. Anakin never actually went for his own crystal. He was given a saber. So we don't know what crystal actually would have ever chosen him.
I want to know how you know Anakin never got his crystal and he was given a saber. How do you know that?
I can't give exact details, but if I were to go back and watch the movies, he never ever went and did his shit. He always had that lightsaber. I forget
Now,
whose
now
lightsaber
don't
it is.
now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong for a second because I understand what you're saying right now. I get what you're saying, but the thing is, it also my argument point you can use for mine too because when you see Anakin Skywalker use a lightsaber, he is already a Padawan in training, and he is just so advanced that he is allowed to go with his master and go to battles and do that kind of shit before actually becoming a Jedi Master. Now, yeah, you never see him go to class, read the books, fight, go get his crystal. No, that's very true. You never see that. But it's never insinuated that he just surpassed all that and just went right into it. Because remember, the first time you see Anakin, he's just a little boy. And he doesn't wield a lightsaber as a little boy.
No.
So my argument to you is you can use the same argument against me. We never really see what happens, but it's never referenced. At least not in the movies. I don't know about the books. Now, I didn't know about that stupid fucking purple lightsaber thing that you guys were right, and I'll give you that. You guys are right. You do your shit, and that's all good and well.
Well,
But what I
you
want to
guys are
know,
technically both right because it's kind of a combination of both. It's just
yeah,
how the Force user is using both light and darkness. Is why like there was one
Because they're able to.
Jedi and his name where is he? His name was Revan. He lost his memory and he became a Sith. When he regained his memory, he went back to the Jedi Order. His lightsaber turned back to the color blue from red. However, um, as he started battling and everything like that, suddenly his lightsaber shifted to a violet color on its own, representing the way he used the Force.
because he used both sides of it.
Right.
And for this upcoming trilogy that we're gonna finally see the
Oh, here we go.
finale
Here we go. Here we
in
go. Here we go.
December.
My bad. I fucked that all up. I'm so sorry. I fucked that all. All right. So Anakin did go and retrieve his own, but it was Rey and Obi-Wan who or no, not Obi-Wan. Rey and fucking
Kylo Ren.
Luke Skywalker and Rey never actually went and got their own sabers. They were given them.
Yes,
So
and they're both the same person's lightsaber, which is Obi-Wan's.
so we actually don't know for a fact until they actually go. One is not going because he's fucking dead, but the other, who's to say she didn't receive a purple one? Just
Yeah,
throwing that out there.
no, you're absolutely right. Listen, I'm not arguing the fact that Rey has darkness in her. I'm not saying she don't. I'm just saying that she's not going to be the antagonist in this movie. Not the way that they have
She
been building her up. This is a
but
Disney movie, man.
something is gonna make her dark though in this movie.
Bullshit. I don't believe it.
Listen,
I won't believe it.
you're saying it's a Disney movie, like Disney's not killed every
Like
parent in every movie they've made.
I'm
Yeah, and the
thinking,
child
listen, because it's
overcomes.
Disney. Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought Disney up again. Because it's
Child
Disney and they did the
overcomes.
Clone Wars, right? And we all know Darth Maul left way too early. Okay, he
They
got
brought
killed
him
off way
back.
too early. Okay, not bringing him back, but he got brothers and sisters and shit. He has his family who are more badass than him.
Yeah, he
So
has
I'm thinking they're gonna come back
Savage.
to
Darth
revenge
Savage.
him and shit like that, and they're gonna fuck shit up, and then they're gonna do something that's gonna turn her dark
Now
because
don't
they actually turn out to be really peaceful and they don't do shit unless like they're really provoked to.
Now, don't get me wrong, Angelo. What you just said, I'd go see that movie. That movie would be the shit. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
I don't know, man, because Disney brought up a lot of like
Disney's
off the wall characters in Clone Wars.
In Clone Wars, yeah, they did. But in this movie, I don't think that's gonna happen. Because also, you got to remember, bro, Clone Wars happens before Anakin even becomes Darth Vader. These are Leia Skywalker's kids and whoever Ray's parents were their kids. This that would just his family would be so old. It would be descendants. They would have to create a character for that to happen. But I mean, your idea though is fucking spot on. I would fucking watch that in a heartbeat. That would be bad motherfucking ass. Because Darth Maul, he wasn't in part one enough at all.
no.
Like
He's
5
my
minutes of
favorite Sith
screen
too.
time,
He's
Yo,
my
when
favorite fucking Sith.
they cut him in half, I said, "Wow, George Lucas is fucking crazy."
right? Because that motherfucker was cool. Cool as
All
shit.
right,
Dude,
Cooler
all
than
right, Tony.
Dooku.
All right, Tony. What shit you got to dish out to us?
all right.
Man, he don't know what he's talking about.
Hey, listen, man. Let me just tell you.
What?
Um,
What, jabroni?
Darth Maul was definitely a very powerful Sith Lord, and it sucked that they made him kind of bitch out when he died against Obi Wan. That shit was whack. I kind of like that they brought him at the end of the movie solo, so that kind of gives me an idea that maybe Disney might do a movie with him. and they should because he's a very popular character. Um, Another character that we should have gotten more story on was Mace Windu. Like I said, he's a very powerful Jedi. Um, you know, another thing that they need to fucking do is um, goddamn, they need to do like a Clone Wars, like a live series, not like the CGI. That shit would be fucking awesome. And then bring in like Angelo said, the Darth Maul's family that's more powerful than him, and bring him in and fucking that shit would be dope, man. But I'm still frustrated with the Phantom Menace. That shit was super whack.
Definitely the worst of that trilogy.
I was gonna
It's
say Attack of the Clones because that shit got gay when they were in the fucking fields kissing and hugging, and I was like,
I mean,
what
I
kind
feel
of
like there was
dumb
nothing gay about it. I feel like there was a man and a woman doing all that.
Right. Well, what I mean by that is that it wasn't. I didn't feel like
There
it
wasn't
was
titty
Star
action.
Wars.
If there's titty action, it'd been alright.
That
Maybe
shit
some
would have been
anise.
cool. All right, show me some Natalie Portman Black Swan titties. But
We
you
got
know,
You
to
know how
see
much
some of her
money?
back. We got to see
Listen,
her back.
no,
You
I
do
know?
you
wanted
know
to
how
see
much
more.
money they probably offered her, and she was still like, no.
Of course not.
Yeah, she would be no. Fuck her.
But freaking in part 2, you get to see Yoda fight. Yoda was cool.
I really liked Yoda in part two, but I liked him better in the third one
He's good there too.
when he
Um,
pretty much called out Palpatine
yeah, by
with his little
himself.
little green lightsaber. Not
And
a
Mace
purple one.
Windu, the most powerful Jedi, was
Okay,
betrayed by Anakin.
exactly. He was
He was
blindsided because
betrayed. He
he
was
he
blindsided.
trusted him.
He trusted him.
He got thrown out a window.
Got thrown out the goddamn
But
window.
one thing you don't know is
Man, you know
being all
what?
powerful, he
Listen,
could probably float or fly.
Get
For
the
listen.
all you
fuck
know.
out of here.
He could.
All right.
Okay, you know how many
Okay.
drones are flying around? It's just like fucking my god, when they go
He
after the
also
bounty
he
hunter.
also got slashed by a lightsaber. He didn't just
Hey,
get thrown out a window.
he didn't get fucking slashed.
Yes, he did.
He got his hand cut off.
That too.
But so did fucking Anakin Skywalker. So did Luke.
Okay,
So
okay, I'll give it to you. He could be alive. It's
he
true.
could
You're
totally be
right.
alive, but
You're
I don't
right.
know what
Like he could have
how
used
would
the force and like made a drone come over that was flying, and he hung on to it.
But
And
again, like he would also be like seriously old. Like seriously old.
maybe.
And I'm pretty
Mm.
sure Samuel L. Jackson's not in this movie.
how old is Yoda?
It's like fucking
Yoda was
900
a
years old.
different species that don't matter. Totally
Okay,
different
why
species.
why could Mace Windu just be human?
Yeah, he was human.
What if he wasn't? Like, what if he can live like up to a long time? Maybe not as long as Yoda did. Like Yoda lived to be 900 and something years old. What
Yeah,
if
what
Mace
if he was
Windu?
using the force to help preserve his body?
I've never seen any other Jedi do that, but
Because you haven't seen anybody as powerful as Mace Windu.
Why is
wow,
Marco
dude.
not saying
Like
anything?
I feel like Tony wants to suck Mace Windu's cock. He's like,
You know what? You
ah,
know what?
Listen,
He can whip out that.
you might gain an extra 30, 40 years with that go-go juice.
oh my lord, you
Whip
dirty
out that
man.
purple
I don't even
juice.
know what this conversation is anymore.
It's just all us bantering. So
What if he wanted all that purple in
Are
his
we
mouth?
on?
so
You guys
Star
have been
Wars,
on
man.
for like 15 minutes.
Damn it, Mark! You haven't said anything.
I was
So
We
told not
told him to
to.
turn it on.
Oh,
We
but
told him to
damn,
turn it on. You were
but
there for the
to,
conversation.
but I'm
Obviously,
thinking,
you know what, Tony? Obviously, you don't follow us because if not, you'd get notifications across your fucking thing
oh
Yep.
man, oh
oh, hold on,
man,
letting you
wait.
know that
I
you were
don't have, I don't
live.
oh
have social
shit.
media.
There was like
I
3 or
don't have
4
social
If
people
media.
you
in
don't
this chat.
subscribe to our YouTube page
Oh yeah, of course I
or
do.
to our no, you don't because it would have popped up.
Maybe I turned off my notifications. I
I'm
get a
pretty
lot
sure
of.
you did it.
I did. I swear to God, I'll fucking show you. I am a subscriber.
Okay,
Of course, I'm a
I bet
subscriber.
you. I bet you. At the end of the night, we have 114 subscribers.
Fuck you, man. I'm one of the damn subscribers. I
Okay,
subscribe.
we'll find out.
Well,
I'll be
so
damned,
Like,
man.
there was like 3 people in the chat today, which
what are they
they
saying
didn't
to this?
they didn't type anything. They just were just like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?" Because like they were there, and then we went down to like one person watching, and I was like,
What the
you-
fuck?
Well, I'll tell you what,
Why
bro.
weren't you giving shout outs, Marco, while we were talking?
like they didn't say nothing, so I'm not gonna call them out for lurking.
You'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? Let us know you're here. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point, man. You could have done that. But
I can't
anyhow,
see that.
hindsight is 50-50. Or is it 2020? I think the thing is 2020. Um so anyhow, we were getting into the Star Wars fucking banter. I like
Yeah.
I really do it just to bother Tony because he gets really fucking heated because he seriously wants to suck Mace Windu's cock. He just wants it all over his mouth. But
The
as to
X amount of
some
shit that's
stuff
like
that's
triple
going
that.
on now, Stephen
Hmm.
King's It Too came out, and I believe Tony saw it. I saw it. I'm not sure if Angelo saw it. No, he ain't seen it. Mark, have you seen it?
I haven't seen the second part of it. It's not it
You
too.
have.
It's the second part. I haven't seen.
It's It Chapter 2.
Yeah, it's the second part.
Yeah.
The book is whatever. Wait. You were calling it it too, and I'm like, it's not it too, but I'm just being technical about it. Sorry, being a
Marco,
pain in
it's
the
it
ass.
too.
I'm being a
You
pain in the ass.
It's
technical
it too.
son of a bitch.
It's it,
I
and
mean,
there's another two in the poster. It's it too.
if I can
It's
sum
It
that
Chapter
movie
2.
up, yeah, if I can sum that
Two.
movie up, it was long. There was some scenes that could have been maybe cut out that would have made the movie just fine. But I understand where they were going with it. But I just wanted to see a little bit more of Pennywise. Maybe a little. We got somewhat of a backstory on Pennywise, but I wouldn't say it was much. I wanted to see it, you know. I wanted to see it.
I think we
But
got plenty of backstory on Pennywise.
I mean, yeah, you understand
See?
where he comes from and what he is, but I don't know,
What I
man.
want to
So,
know
Where
how
did he
much
is
come?
of Pennywise was actually in the movie?
I'd
uh
say he was here and there, but he wasn't like when he'd pop up, there wasn't as many scenes as I'd like to see him killing people. He'd pop up and creep people out, do his little funny bits, and fuck with people's heads. I gotta say, my favorite scene is the dugout scene. Y'all gotta see that.
the
Because the
dugouts.
previews, excuse me, the previews I seen, one of them was basically like, "Oh, he's back. We never finished it. We just stopped it for the time being." Blah blah blah. And then the other rest of the previews were like basically the backstory of Pennywise. So they made it seem like he was gonna be the whole movie. I think.
Do you guys want to give Angelo kind of like the general idea without spoilers of what this is about? Give him the general
He
idea
they
because
did they basically
there's a
just said
certain
it.
there's a certain way that this goes. They haven't really said. So you want to tell him? Because I know
It's
read the book. I just haven't watched the movie.
well, I mean, it's an exact remake, pretty much, of the original one,
Yep.
the original
Right.
sequel.
But what is like the general idea? What is going on? Is this in the past? It's in the future.
No,
Yes.
Well,
they're
it's
in
28 years
27.
later.
Right. So
Yeah,
they're
they're
all
in
grown up.
It's
27 years.
So they're all
they're all
grown up.
adults,
Well,
Mm.
it
and
comes every
it remind
27 years.
it reminds you at the end of the first movie. If this son of a bitch comes back, no matter what, they're all gonna come back,
Yeah, and they're gonna kill him.
and they're gonna kill him for good because they weren't sure whether or not they killed him or not. So obviously he comes back, and the only one that stayed in town was pretty much the only one who remembered. And him coming back was him kind of wanting to finish his unfinished business too, because he was really mad that them kids got away.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
he's calling them out. They come back. They got to remember, and they got to figure out, how to defeat them. And
Yeah, it was interesting to see that, some of the characters, they didn't even remember who,
and the
who
none
who
of them
Mike
did.
was.
Yeah, none of them remembered. They
But as soon
only,
as they got there, as soon as they saw
yeah,
each other.
they compartmentalized it emotionally so they can move on with their lives, and they all had pretty successful lives. Um, but now they all come back and they face off with that nigga, and some shit happens, and it was
Yeah,
entertaining. It was interesting. It
I
wasn't
laughed.
the
I
acting
laughed a
was
lot.
great. The
Hmm.
acting was
Yeah,
was really good.
yeah. You
Um,
what's his name? Sean, James McAvoy.
the growth of the characters from like the
Jessica
way the kids were
Chastain.
to how they were when they were adults and how much they look like themselves, like it really made it believable. It was really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
the
And then there was a
resemblance was
Stephen
real
King
good.
homage and he cameoed in it, and that's always really cool. um for some reason the subject of gay comes out in this movie a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was kind of awkward because in the opening scene, it's two dudes at a in a carnival, and they get attacked for being gay, by some local guys, and
No,
then I'm thinking I'm thinking, okay, this dude is somehow gonna get saved, and these guys are gonna go somewhere and get killed by it. Well, that's not how it played out. They threw
No,
so
his ass. They threw his ass in the damn
a
fucking
lot of
river.
dark shit going on.
I
A
was
lot
like,
of dark
oh,
shit going
I was
on.
like, damn, that's
so
fucked up.
what was this opening scene 28 years ago or 28 years later?
28 years later.
Yeah. And then you got
So
one of
was
the
this movie
characters.
set in like the early 90s, maybe mid 90s?
Mm,
Yeah, or
well,
80s.
yeah, they
Like
were in
late
the
80s,
80s.
early 90s? Yeah.
Yeah, late
Yeah.
80s. 1989 was when they saw, and then 27
That
years
that
from there.
that
So,
makes sense. They're setting the mood and shit.
but one
Hmm.
one of the things that's crazy is one of the characters, you kind of you get to see some of their secrets that you didn't know, and one of the secrets was Richie Tozier, or whatever his name is. Um, would go to this arcade and he'd be playing Street Fighter with this kid, but the way that he looked at him wasn't like how he would look at a friend. So you kind of get that idea, like, because that's why it was like, oh, I know your secret, Richie. I know your secret. It could have been that he had a crush on Stan. Could have been that he had a crush on Bill. Could have been that he had a crush on somebody, or that he was just trying to hide his sexuality. Who knows? That's my guess on that. Just the way that he was acting. We never did get to find out what it was, but that's my theory
Yeah,
because of the
it
way he
leaves it
acted.
open to
That's a huge
interpretation.
cliffhanger.
No, it just
That's a huge
it's
cliffhanger.
not even a cliffhanger. It's more like it just kind of leaves it to your own interpretation.
Yeah, you
Well,
kind of
what's the
figure it out.
point of messing with someone's senses and not actually fully explaining it?
And
Well,
that's what,
you saw
yeah.
the fear. I think that's more what these movies kind of exploit is that fear.
What's
I
so
do.
scary about being gay?
Ask a gay person; they all go through that.
But I can
Well, here.
understand like 89, but it's just like, who was he? Were they actually like insinuating that he
Well,
could be
no,
like?
let me tell you why. Because he was getting his ass kicked by Henry Bowers and Henry Bowers's like crew. So when they were in there, the kid that he was playing Street Fighter with, he was like, "Hey, you want to go one more round?" And he's kind of backing up, and he sees his cousin Henry Bowers, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't know you had fairies in your town." Blah blah, and then he told him, "Get the fuck out, faggot." Maybe he was afraid that if he came out, he can possibly risk getting the chance of getting his ass kicked a lot more than usual, or worse. Henry Bowers was evil. He wanted to kill those kids. What I did like is that 27 years later, you get to see him flushed out of the sewers, and then how he got to the insane asylum, which was fucking awesome that they showed that. And then, and then you he doesn't talk to it, so it uses one of his dead friends, like a skeleton looking dude, Hochstetter. That's the name of his friend. And he was like, hey, he's like, it wants you to kill them or finish the job. And he gives him his knife that he had. And he was like, oh, okay. So, it's crazy. I like how he gets involved with that shit. It was good, man. It was a good movie. It was long as hell, though.
So they sprinkled some possession in on there.
Oh
You could
yeah.
say, yeah, you can say that
Hmm.
definitely. Yo, but I'll tell you what, man. Some of the like that scene where Beverly Marsh, Jessica Chastain's character, goes to that abandoned house, and that fucking old lady. That scene was funny. There's a lot of good scenes in there, man. Um, so I'd recommend seeing it. I just would tell you right now, just get ready. That shit's 3 hours.
Yeah, it was long. It was a long movie.
I was like, fuck me, this shit's long. But if you have to ask me which one is better between the first or second one, I'd say the first one. I like the first one better.
I thought they
That's
were
for sure.
both good. I think they
They're
both
both
go
good.
well together. Honestly, after watching the first one once, I never really had any interest to watch it again. I mean, I really don't have any interest to watch this one again either. It's not a movie that I'll constantly put on, but it was good for what it was.
Okay, that's fair.
Well,
I think.
the only
All
movie
right, so
I can go back and watch it.
how about this?
You can go
All
back and
right,
watch
so
anything.
we got both of you on here. 1 out of 10. Mo goes first. What's your overall rating for this movie? One being worst, 10 being the greatest.
I give it a
Maybe
strong 8.
strong 8. And then now I remind you, okay, before we set that, you can go between. So you can be like 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, da da da
I
da
think
da.
he understands that concept.
Then 7.7.
7.7. All right, all
That's
right.
not a
I
What do you
strong
think,
eight.
Jimmy?
Like
I'd
if
give
a
it a
strong eight would be like a
7.5.
8.2 or 8.3.
You're
All right,
right.
so
I'll give it a weak 8 then. 7.7.
you give a strong 7.
I say
Strong.
7.5.
So,
Fuck you.
I'm saying, man, 7.5.
all right, all right.
7.5.
7.5? Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so 7.5. You're saying that you would go back and watch it.
I would, yeah, because I've seen movies that are worse. I've seen movies that are worse than that. I give you an example of what shitty movie I enjoy. It's like a guilty pleasure. You ever seen the movie during this whole Hurricane Dorian thing? I went to go back and watch the movie Geostorm with Gerard Butler.
I
You
don't
ever
think
seen that
I've seen
movie?
that one. No, I don't think so.
Never? Yo, that
I'm pretty
movie's
sure I gave that one a
Listen,
hard pass.
after
yo,
the
that shit
perfect
is so
storm
crazy.
and the day after tomorrow and earthquake and it just
2012.
a
Yo, I
lot
don't
of the
know what it
movies
is,
got
but
very very annoying.
it's crazy because they nuke the storms to control them so that the world doesn't get storms in this big satellite system, and then the satellite system breaks down or gets tampered with, so pretty much the world goes into what they call a geostorm, where all these different storms are happening in different parts of the world. You got Russia that gets like fucking molten lava. You get tornadoes in India. You get it's crazy. But the movie itself, you're just watching it, you're like, good lord, this
So
movie
we
sucks,
now
but
we
I
know
like
where
it.
Trump got his idea from.
I knew someone was gonna say that. I knew it.
He watched
The
too much
movie was
Geostorm.
was
Cause
I was
yeah,
waiting for
Geostorm.
it.
let's
That
like
movie
So
was nice.
rain some nuclear fallout on everybody.
Oh my god.
fall out
That's
the game.
hilarious.
Like if you
So
go into like the My Radar and you look up the wind layer, like that would spread so much farther than like anyone could imagine.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
It's
Mo.
not.
I, I wanted to ask you, Tony, because over the last couple days, I've been bombarded with the subject of apple picking. And it seems like I'm the only person in the world who doesn't understand how great this activity is. And I wanted to know, because you're married to a Jersey girl.
Okay,
Have you
yes.
ever heard of apple picking? Have you ever done it?
Like going out and picking it out of a tree.
Like
Yeah.
going to a place, picking them out of the tree, and like imbibing in anything that's going on over there. Have you ever gone to like a field and picked fruit?
The only thing I've ever picked was strawberries. I've never picked apples or maybe oranges, but I've never picked apples from a tree. I don't think I've ever seen an apple tree in person.
So in strawberry picking, is there other things to do like riding a tractor or a pumpkin patch or like some kind of wine or whiskey to imbibe or some donuts or anything like that? Or is it just like you go out there, you pick your strawberries and you
You,
leave?
they had ice cream. They had strawberry soft serve ice cream, which was fire. But
Yeah.
um, the strawberries were good. It's owned by Amish people, the place that I go to.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
got to
Well,
be careful because they'll shoot the shit out of you if you fuck around out there in their field. Like they're out there, they look like children of the corn. So you kind of like want to pick your strawberries and get the fuck out of there. I mean, they're lucky their strawberries taste good, but yeah, why? You've gone apple picking?
no, but Angela
Yeah.
just went apple picking, and Nicole asked me, well, not asked me, but told me that maybe one day we should go apple picking. That would be so
Yeah,
much
I'm sure.
fun.
I'm
And
sure
then
it's fun.
when I looked at Mark, I was like, "What the fuck is this apple picking shit? That's some North shit." And Mark
Yo,
looks at me
Yeah,
and goes, "It's
it is.
actually a lot of fun. It's a really good time."
just,
And he's gone apple picking. I'm the
just
only person who's never thought to go
so
apple picking.
where can
I
we
didn't
go
think to
see
go
an
apple
apple
picking
tree?
until I came here. I'm not even gonna lie.
there's
Yo,
not.
you picking?
There's not a lot of apples out this way. You would have to go
No.
tell Nicole to take you to Jersey when it's not fucking winter. When it's like maybe like now when it's like fall or something like that, where it's not that cold yet,
Uh,
and there'll be a lot of that stuff going on right now. It's like
I
harvest
mean,
time.
I've
apparently, the
always
only
wanted to
time I
pick.
can visit Angelo is when it's snowing. That's the only time we're allowed to go visit Angelo.
Nope, not gonna happen.
Shit, one of the coolest. I've always
If
wanted to
it's
pick an
Not
snowing,
apple
gonna
from a
happen.
tree and take a bite out of it, see what it tastes like.
Right? See what it tastes like. Bit
Get
of
a
the
taste of the
glory.
glory.
Taste of the glory. I want to taste it. All right, man. Well, listen. We got started here a little late. It's already 11:10. I'm starting to fucking
He know I
get a
gotta work
headache. Oh,
tomorrow.
you don't have to work tomorrow,
yeah, we
but
started
I
at like
have to work.
He
10:30,
know we
like
gotta work
30 minutes
tomorrow.
ago.
I have
I'm
to
gonna
be at
watch.
work at 6.
We've been
I'm gonna
on
Oh, wait.
probably
for
watch
like
John Wick 3.
25 minutes.
Nice.
I'm gonna go watch John Wick 5.
Damn, I
I'm
can't wait for that one. That's gonna be dope.
I'm
I
gonna
wonder
go
how many.
watch the back of my eyelids. So thank you, Hawks. I appreciate it. Did
I'm gonna
anybody
go
guess
watch
where
some.
Tony was last week?
did
Did
you hear?
anybody guess?
Did you hear what your sister said? That shit was
What
Wait,
did
funny.
my
what was
sister?
that?
You got it. Look, want me to pull up your sister's comment? It was
Yeah, what
funny.
did she say?
It was funny as hell. I'm not gonna paraphrase it. I'm just gonna pull it up.
Yo, you know what, Mo? You're gonna sleep and you're gonna dream of purple lightsabers now.
I
He know
normally
that
Bing,
purple
do.
on him now.
bing, bing, bing.
I normally do actually. I do that all the time.
He's gonna have lightsaber stamps on his forehead.
Hey Mo, while I'm looking this up, why don't you tell people where they can find us?
You guys can find us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the follow button. Tell us what you think of this video. Tell us what you want us to talk about and argue with us about shit. Because I loved a really good argument. I love to prove to Tony how incorrect he is about Ren and Ray and Kylo Ren and all that kind of stuff. Because
You were
Listen,
even
he's just
talking shit
it's
mad.
about the
easy.
Matrix. You were talking
I
shit about the
I
Matrix, and
wasn't
that's the
talking
only
shit about
thing.
the
You
Matrix. I
said the
just said
Matrix sucks.
no. I did not. I did not say the Matrix sucks. I said that the
You said the third
Matrix
one.
is a big fuck you to the fans.
You said the
No,
That's what I said.
Revolution.
I
you
didn't
said
say
Lord of
that
the
it
Rings sucks
sucks.
too.
I did not say Lord of the Rings sucks. The Hobbit sucked, but the
Whoa,
Lord of the
whoa,
Rings were good. Oh
Sonny,
yeah, oh
bro, it
yeah. The
wasn't that
Hobbit
bad. It wasn't that
sucked.
bad.
Oh, the
It
Hobbit
wasn't
was
that
terrible.
bad.
Oh, it
It
was
wasn't.
ridiculous. That dragon was a
Right.
little bitch. You know what
No,
else
he was
sucked?
not.
Game of Thrones sucked. Game of
Oh,
Thrones
see,
sucked
now
so
you're
much
fucking. You
ass.
went from here to
They
here,
fucking they
and that's
fucking
crazy.
fucked that show up from the left to the right. I said to the show, it was like the fifth season, like, this is the greatest show ever made.
They
And
only
what did I
fucked it
say
up
in the
with one
last season? I
episode.
said this is the worst show I've ever seen. This I
They
cannot
only
believe it
fucked it up.
ended this way. How are
They
you gonna
only
end it
fucked it
this
up with
way?
one
How is it that
episode.
Siri gonna go away
One
so cheap?
episode.
I've been waiting for her to die. No, 2 episodes made it the worst show ever put
No,
on
not two.
television. And you
Just the
want to know
one.
what else is bad? You know what
Just the
else is
one.
bad? Disney's fucking up Star Wars. This trilogy is gonna be straight garbage if this movie sucks.
Who's fucking up Star
He,
Wars?
he just
Disney.
went
Disney's
Rick and
fucking up
Morty.
Star Wars, bro.
Oh
I
man,
love
see now
fuck.
you're
Look at
just.
this nigga getting all mad. Look at it. He turning red.
I'm just
Turning
looking up
red.
and no,
I
I'm
just want
turning
to tell
purple
everybody
because
I
You
don't
know,
believe
too
a
big
word
rich.
of anything I
Fuck
just
you.
said. The Hobbits were great movies. We'll find out if Disney fucked up Star Wars. That is yet to be decided.
And Moses
But we
fucking
no.
all
trashed
know
I
it.
could
that they
already
need to
tell you
come
what they
strong with
Listen,
are.
this episode. I really want to know
Mo
what my sister
said
comments is.
Star Wars fucked up. We still haven't waited for it to come up yet. So what the hell? What's going on,
What
Marco?
what's up with the
Marco, what's
comment?
going on?
Fuck the Ninja
There's so many
Turtles.
damn comments, but like in the paraphrase of everything like that is that
But he was
she's
just
like
complaining. They haven't
she's
commented.
like she
They're
said
not
something about
commenting.
he's probably off like watching porn somewhere. Is what she
From
Oh, me?
literally
Pornhub?
said.
Me
Is that
watching
what
porn?
Nikki said? Were you watching porn last week when we went on?
Me?
We're
Yeah,
Nah,
just
you.
trying to we're just trying to verify so we can see if we owe Nikki anything or anything like that for her. Yeah.
Where were you
no.
last time we did the show? What day
When
did we
did you
do
do
the
it
show
last time?
last? Was it Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so. It's
Trying to
Tuesday.
think, what was I doing? I was
What were you
probably
doing?
sleeping. I was
What were you
probably
doing
sleeping,
Tuesday
bro.
night? You were asleep?
Sleeping.
You were asleep? You were you weren't even having sex?
Maybe I did. I fell asleep.
Probably
You
not.
know, did
You've
some
been married a
drugs.
long time.
Why did it
Probably
look
just
like you
fell
had to
asleep.
force that out, Mo?
What?
What?
What'd you say?
You look like you had to force it out.
I
It looked
did.
like you was like talking mid shit or something.
I did, dude. I'm taking a shit right now, actually. I mean, that's what I do live on Over the Top, taking shit on all these niggas' fucking opinions. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Fuck the
Next
Ninja
time.
Turtles.
No, you
John
fucking.
Wick's a bitch.
Yeah, okay. Say it to his face.
Darth Maul sucks cock.
No, now that's fucking low. And there's no way for him not
I
to.
don't know
The
what
only
these guys
way,
are
the
doing.
only reason why he's sucking cock is because he was cut in half, and he don't have a way to get away. No, that's not his fault.
So
Get the
wait, he
fuck
can
out of
suck
here.
his
What?
own dick 2 different ways.
That is true.
What's the second way to suck a dick?
He just uses
He
his other
split in
half.
half, so he's 69 in himself.
Oh my god. All right.
You a sick
All right,
ass
we're done
nigga,
with
dude.
this. We're done with this.
We're done.
Bye,
All right,
guys.
good night.
Bye.
Good